Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to be clear coating the cabinet today with a roller and that Owl's Eye clear coat, which I'll show that to you. I did sand this door down this morning and did a little bit of Bondo work to it. I figured screw it, just get it done with the cabinet so I can get them both in the basement tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice here today and tomorrow, 70 degrees, which I'll take it. It's getting to be the towards the end of October, so it'll be nice to be able to get this in the house without having to worry about snow or ice or anything else on the ground. So what I want to do is put a coat of black paint on this first. I'm probably gonna have to put 2 coats on. While I'm waiting for this to dry, I want to take the insides of the cabinet out. I'm gonna take the wiring out, the bottom power brick, what's left of the power brick, and anything else that's in there. I want to get all that out of there, and I want to lightly sand the bottom of the cabinet just to get any dirt and grime off of there, and then vacuum it and blow it out really well. We're going to use my little battery operated DA sander for in there. I know I said I'm sanding everything by hand, but inside there it's going to be a little bit easier just to take my little DA sander and sand around. You could do it by hand, but in there I'm going to go ahead and cheat with that. I actually sanded the back door today, believe it or not, by hand. As far as I did, I used my little foam block over here. But this is the DA sander we're going to be using for inside the cabinet. But I used my little foam block here, and I sanded the whole back door down, filled in a couple spots. It really wasn't that bad. You can see where I sanded heavier with the block here, where there were some scratches. So I just sanded it down real good. So let me get some black paint. We're just going to use some black craft paint. 2 coats, and then we're probably just going to clear the back door with everything else. Why not? Might as well. So I'm just using this black craft paint from Walmart. I think this tube is like $4, something in that area. And the good thing is I'm just going to squirt it onto the panel and then just roll it around with the roller. We'll do 2 coats of that. And then after I put that on, we're going to go over to there, get all that stuff out of the inside of the cabinet. Maybe I'll just spin the cabinet around. Make it a little bit easier. And we'll get everything out of there so that we can wash the harness and everything just to clean it up, or maybe wipe it down. We'll see how dirty it is once we get to it. And then this week we can work on the coin door, all the metal brackets and stuff like that, and get those ready for paint. We're going to spray paint all that stuff with the 5X Krylon, which I bought 2 more cases of it right there because I like that stuff so much. I know a lot of people like the Rust-Oleum. I don't like it. I don't like how long it takes to dry, and I don't like the fact that Rust-Oleum it could react, and so if you don't like the way something looks and you go sand it down a little bit and you try to respray it, it could react, and then you got to redo the whole thing. So I don't really care for that, for those simple facts, and it just takes too long to dry. The Krylon, I could spray a coin door in the morning and then 2-3 hours later take it and put it in the house and put it on the cabinet. Rust-Oleum, you usually should let it set overnight. So, all right, let me grab a roller and we'll put the first coat of black on this, and then we'll move over to taking the cabinet apart. Okay, that's coat number 1. You can still see the scratch marks. Second coat should fill that in pretty good. And then back door actually looks pretty damn good. It's in good shape, so I'm happy with that. It wasn't all busted up. I didn't have to do a bunch of work to it. The corners weren't all blown out and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and take the stuff out that we threw in here the other day. And we need to make a nice pile of parts. We're even going to reuse these handles, and we're going to respray them. So if you look, it's got like, I don't even know what that's from. It's like red paint or something from something. Just kind of making a pile of parts so that we can get these things. I want to get them clean this week and out of here because I don't want them sitting around for too long. And everything's in pretty clean. It's not bad. I might just run these on the wire wheel rather than putting them in the tumbler. This is garbage, an old lock thing. Oh, I got the garbage cans under my back door. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this away. This is junk. Yeah, there's no need to save this. Oh, you know what? I will save this wire clamp though. Yep, that's garbage. When you have an old power wire like that, just throw it away. You don't need to burn your house down because you're too cheap to buy a new piece of wire. So we want to take off the wiring harness, get that out of there. Those should all be 1/4 inch. You can use a nut driver, drill, whatever you want. I'm choosing to just do it by hand. I'm actually gonna, yeah, I'll take the clamps off. I was gonna leave them on, but you know what? Let's just take them off. Now this interlock switch cover, we're gonna spray paint that too, just so it looks brand new. I'll find that after. This interlock bracket, do I want to repaint it? Maybe. I'm doing everything else. Maybe I will. So, ouch. So brown and orange was the top. Brown was the third. Okay, this is the very bottom, right there. I'm going to put these wires back on there. So there's my bracket. So this is the bottom one. This is the third one up. They skipped the middle. Brown was the third one from the top, and then the brown and orange was the very top lead. So that we know that that's back in the same spot. Not a big deal. If you plug it in wrong, it's just not going to work. And sometimes it'll take a series of times to get it to work. So I just learned over the years to just take it off and just put it right back on. I always use interlock switches and stuff. Almost every game I get, they're usually disconnected or spun and turned on and left. I always put the game back to the way it was originally. Somebody put a switching power supply in here. I need to convert it back to what it was. I need to find another transformer too to go on the bottom of this cabinet. I don't think I have one. There's isolation, looks like the isolation transformer's there for the monitor, if that's what that one is. Okay, we are all cleaned out. Everything is out of the cabinet. Oh, I lied. Got this bracket right here to take off, and these two plastic pins. Now everything's off. So, you can see the bottom of the cabinet, the dirt compared to the clean area, where the power brick's at. Now, the funny thing is, like the dumbest thing that Midway did, why would you put a particle board bottom? Of all things, you use plywood for everything else, and then you put particle board on the bottom to soak up all the moisture. Same thing with the top, particle board. Everything else is plywood. Why would you do that? But anyways, whatever. So we're gonna sand this with the DA sander just to try to get it a little bit lighter looking and cleaner, and then we'll blow it out, vacuum it, and stuff like that. So I got my little sander here. I just have a piece of used sandpaper on here. It's not real rough, it's maybe 180 grit. Okay, it's all sanded down. I put the second coat of black paint on the door itself. I put it in the spray booth so it doesn't get dust on it while I blow this off. And at that point, we can roll this into the spray booth because I want to roll the clear in there because I want to leave it set in there overnight because I have to work on this pickup truck later today. So I don't want to get dust on the cabinet. So I'm going to open up the overhead door, get it all blown out. If I have to vacuum it, I'll vacuum it, but I don't know that I'll need to vacuum it. So let's get this dust off of here. Okay, it is in the spray booth. I gotta let the back door dry for a little while because that black paint's wet. So I'm gonna take a break, eat lunch, come back, and we're gonna roll this Owl's Eye clear on. I'm gonna show it to you right now. I showed it in, I think, the first video that I did on working on this. 1 hour enamel. Wise Owl paint is the company name. You'll have to look it up online. I don't remember where I got it from. Got about a half a quart left, so I should have enough. This stuff works really good. And what it does is, when you use all these acrylic paints, it kind of leaves like shinier and duller spots. It doesn't always look uniform, and this makes it uniform. This kind of like just seals the deal, makes it all like the same sheen. And the good thing about using this stuff is you can wipe your cabinet down and not worry about taking paint off the cabinet because you're wiping it on the clear, not smearing, you know, dirt and shit into the white and having it stick on there. So I love this stuff. I think it works really well. We'll probably do 2 coats if I have enough. I don't know if I'm going to do the back door or not, to be honest with you, because I don't know that I have enough. If I have enough, I'll do the back door, because if there's this much left in the can, I might as well do the back door because I'm going to end up throwing it away anyways at that point. This stuff is not cheap. I think it's like $50 or $60 a quart, but you can get 2 cabinets out of it, so it's $25 a cabinet, which, to be honest with you, is cheaper than a couple spray cans of clear coat. Because if you were going to spray can clear coat it, you would probably use 6 cans for 2 coats, and you're looking at $8 a can times 6. You're looking at 50 bucks. So for $25, you don't have to worry about overspray if you're doing it in your garage at home, or let's say you don't have a garage and you're doing this in your house. The way we're doing this cabinet, you can do all this work in your house without having, you know, to deal with the dust and dirt being really bad. You know, the sanding part with the Bondo, maybe put it outside to do that part, but as far as all the painting and stuff goes, you can technically do all this in your house. This is not stuff that is bad for you as far as smelling or anything like that. So there's no reason why you couldn't apply this stuff in your house if you didn't have a garage to work on. Also, I'm still working on Sinistar. I'm going to be doing another video. So the CPU/video board that was in the cabinet is pretty trashed. It is pretty acid damaged. A lot of bad traces on the board and stuff like that. So what I decided to do was take my Stargate CPU/video board, and I'm going to use that in the Sinistar, and I'm going to have to find another board for Stargate. Now, in order to use a Stargate video board, you have to do a few modifications to it, which I'll show you guys all that stuff. So the funny thing is I took the CPU board from Stargate, did the modifications, put it in the Sinistar cabinet, and guess what? Bad RAMs. The RAMs aren't bad, the sockets are bad. The sockets on that board are single swipe sockets. They're probably all worn out, pushed out. So I kept getting RAM error codes. Usually Williams Arcade always starts with a 131. I think that's the first chip it tries to read. So I would reseat the chip, I'd get that one to work, and then it would throw a code like 037. Fix that one. Then it would go 024. So I'd reseat that chip, and then it would find another one. So what it was doing is basically just going down the line, and basically those sockets are shit. So I took all the sockets off the board, which I did not video that part. I will show you what I did in the video when I do that video tonight, tomorrow, I don't know when yet. But so I'm gonna end up putting all new 24 sockets in there. I did order a upgrade kit from Arcade Shop to get rid of the 4116 chips if I want to. I believe that eliminates there's a little eliminator. I did it on bubbles, and I believe it gets rid of the 5 volts maybe. I'm not sure, I'd have to read it again. But I did it on the bubbles one when I replaced all those chips. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. I might stick all the 4116s I have back in the new sockets and see if it works. If it works, I might just leave it alone and keep that kit for future. I did order another 50 4116 chips because those chips are used on other games as well. So I figured, you know what, I'll just get them. Their Arcade Shop's the cheapest one that sells them versus everybody else. So all the sockets are going to be changed for the RAM on the CPU, which I'm turning that Stargate board into a Cinestar board. So if I got to put some new chips in there, I can. And then also the chip came that I wanted to swap in the widget board, I think that's what they call it, for the flying, and see if that corrects that problem. I did get those chips yesterday. Obviously have not tried any of that because the CPU board is not currently working because I have all the sockets out of it. So right now it's a bare board with 3 bad traces on it, which shouldn't be a big deal to fix. 2 of them I screwed up taking the sockets out. 1 of them was already loose. So I just need to get those reattached, and then I'll be able to resocket it, and then hopefully put all the chips in there, and fingers crossed we get it to come up and work. We also need to take the battery holder off of it because it has the original battery holder that hold 3 AAA batteries. So we need to get those off of there and put a battery button on there. We'll probably just take it from the Cinestar CPU board and move it over to the Stargate board. What I'm going to do with the old Cinestar CPU board is I'm going to keep it for parts. Because there's still a bunch of chips on there. You never know, might need one of them, who knows. So we'll keep it for parts, and I just need to find another board for Stargate, which I found one on eBay and it's untested. So do I buy it, switch out all the sockets, see if I can get it to work? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's $89. A working one's like 180 bucks, and I don't really want to spend $180 on it. So maybe I buy the cheaper one and see if I can fix it. So I'm not sure yet. I'm not ready for it just yet, so it's kind of a toss-up. We'll figure it out when it gets closer to the time of putting Stargate together. So that's where I'm at with Cinestar. Hopefully this weekend I can get that thing fixed and working. I just don't know. I mean, those video decoder chips, there's 2 of them on the board. Those could also be bad. And if that's the case, it's hard to find new ones of those because they don't make them. But they do have, once again, another upgrade kit that you can change those out too that I was reading, which I don't know what that involves, but there is you have to do a few things to the board to get those to work. So if it still doesn't work, it could be those chips. I think the chips are the same from the Stargate to the Cinestar. So I have 4 of them. So hopefully I can get it to work. But I don't know. I mean, this is just a shot in the dark, you know what I mean? This is just how this stuff goes. I don't have fancy equipment to test everything, so I have to kind of go about it differently than most people that have all the equipment to test the boards to see exactly what's going wrong. I have to do a lot of reading online and a lot of trial and error and just test it. But I know for sure that the 24 RAM chips, that's a common thing on these Williams boards, and those sockets that were on there were horrible. So the dual swipe dual wipe sockets that I'm putting on there should make a huge difference, because it gives your socket a chance to, you know, grabs both sides of the leg. So if maybe the outside is not touching, the inside's still going to be touching. So it gives you a better chance for it to work. So, all right, I'm going to go grab lunch, wait for this to dry. We're going to come back. We're going to throw on the enamel. I am not going to put enamel on the back door for the first coat, or I'll probably do the top of the cabinet. But if we have enough left, we'll probably only be able to do one coat on the back door, which is more than enough. It's the back of the cabinet. It's not going to matter. So, all right, guys, I'm going to quit talking, and I will see you guys in a little while. Okay, guys, I'm ready to put the clear on the cabinet. It's actually been several hours later. Our youngest has his friends over from school. There's like 4 kids over, and they wanted to play Need for Speed. And of course, one of the 2 Need for Speeds, the battery died. So I had to replace the battery on the computer. Then I had to go into BIOS settings and reset everything. Then it wouldn't recognize the game. So that turned into a 2.5-hour project. It is currently up and running again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's fixed now. Those old computers and those Need for Speeds are real finicky. They don't always want to work right. And then the games have been running, because his other friend was over last night. So they were running for a good several hours last night. They've been on for about 4 or 5 hours today. I have a new list of stuff to fix. It should be pretty minor for the most part. They got a kick out of my Operation Thunderbolt. My left gun, if you touch the metal on that gun, the metal of the housing on that gun, and you touch the gun on Operation Wolf, you get a shock. So they thought that was amusing. So I have no idea what's causing that. So I'm going to have to open that up and see if maybe I need to ground. It's a ground issue. Maybe there's power coming from the gun itself, and there's a wire pinched onto metal, but I need to figure that out. It's not like a horrible shock or anything like that. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you rubbed your feet on carpet at the department store, and then you touch the metal rack and get a shock. Kind of like that. So I just wrote it down. I wrote down on a piece of paper what I need to fix. So I have that to fix. I have the trackball in my bowling game I need to fix. The mount broke, so it's kind of crooked. Blue is out on Zaxxon monitor, so hopefully that's just a transistor. I did shake the cabinet and it wanted to come back on and off, so that might just be a cold solder joint. So that needs fixed. And I have some static on Solar Fox screen. Still works, but it's got some grayish color static. So that might just be, could be a voltage problem, could be just reseating some chips on the board. Could be something, I'm guessing is probably pretty minor. So I have the blue out on Zaxxon, the left gun on Operation Thunderbolt, the shocking people. Trackball needs fixed on the bowling game. Static on the screen on Solar Fox. What else do I have? Thought there was a 5th thing. Oh, Neo Geo is not turning on all the way. I think that's a connection issue on the main Neo Geo board itself. Might have to check the pins on the JAMA harness, and I might have to clean everything. I think it's a connection issue. So I'm going to get some of this clear coat mixed up, and of course I still have been to Home Depot like 4 times and still forgot to get a freaking pan for the roller. So I'm gonna have to use my dish again. I don't know, I'm getting old and losing my memory, I guess. There's too much stuff going on. So I'm supposed to be out here working on the truck, and instead I spent 2.5 hours working on Need for Speed. My brother was here. He was helping me with it, because I don't have to go into the BIOS settings very often on those couple games that I have that are computers in the basement. But when I do, you know, it's been 2 years and I forget what the hell to reset. So he was helping me, and then we forgot to set the date and time. And apparently if you don't set the date and time on that computer, that also screws it up. And there's actually more clear in here than I thought. I only used this much of it for bubbles. So I'm definitely have enough for this cabinet, and who knows, maybe even another cabinet. A mixing stick. You want to mix this stuff anytime you use like a satin or a matte finish clear, if you look, it is like a milky finish, okay? And you gotta stir this, because if you don't stir it, see how it's thicker on the bottom of the stick? If you get that stuff on the bottom, see that thicker stuff? If you don't stir that into it really well, you will get a different sheen on your finish. So basically, the stuff on the bottom of the can is your flattening agent, okay? So what it does is, your flattening agent is heavier than the rest of it, so it falls to the bottom of the can. This also applies with satin clear for automotive too. It is also milky in color, and if you don't stir it well, let's say you just take this and you pour some off the top and you roll it on your cabinet's gonna end up shinier than what it should be, because all your flattening agent's at the bottom of the can. And then what happens is once you get towards the bottom of the can, because you never mixed it, you're never going to get the consistent sheen. So if you're doing two cabinets at the same time and you never stirred it, one cabinet is definitely going to be shinier than the other cabinet. So keep that in mind when you're using this kind of stuff. And I'll show this one more time just so you guys know, if anybody wants to order this stuff, you have to go online and look it up and find it. Wise Owl Paint. 1 hour enamel clear matte finish. I believe they have satin, and I would imagine they have gloss too. I don't know. I didn't want anything real shiny. I wanted a matte finish because that's kind of like how those were back then. Maybe they had a little bit more of a shiny. Maybe it was more towards a satin finish, but I don't know, because I can't say I've ever seen one in pristine condition, you know, so they might fade over time of people rubbing on them or washing them or stuff like that. So, okay, I'm gonna get this mixed up and we're gonna go ahead and roll the first coat on. And you know what, before I pause you, let me just read here, because I totally forget. Dries in 30 minutes, recoat in as little as 1 hour. Okay, so that must be why they call it 1 hour urethane, or 1 hour enamel. So we're gonna put a coat on, let it dry for a little bit, come back, roll the second coat on, and then I'll probably wait a half an hour and then let you guys see what it looks like. I might have to show you it fully cured tomorrow when I take it into the basement. I'm going to use the empty container from the roller sleeves. That's my roller pan. Okay, the first coat is on. I totally forgot that when you roll this clear, you need to back brush it with a brush. And what that does is it gets out the little air bubbles that the roller leaves. But first coat's done, looks good. Let it dry, and we'll put one more coat on, and that's gonna be it. This will be ready for the basement tomorrow. Kind of hard to see. You sort of see the shine. So basically, by using this clear, what it does is it gets rid of blotchiness. When you only use paint and you don't use clear, you get blotchiness where some spots are shinier than the others. Same thing with on this door. You see how this is a little bit here is a little bit shinier than the rest? That clear straightens that out, and it just makes it all the same level shininess. So, all right, I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit. I'll be back and we'll roll on one more coat and then back brush it. Okay, this coat is drying. I'm only doing one coat on the back and on the top. I don't want to waste it. There's no point. I still have probably a third of a quart. So if you guys buy this stuff, it does last quite a while. So this is up to here still. So it's about a third of a quart left. So if I were to buy another quart, I could probably get a full 3 cabinets. So you get about 2.5 cabinets out of a quart of this stuff. That would be my guess. And that's I gotta fasten that with a hammer. But that's 2 coats on the sides and front, 1 coat on the top and back. As you can see, it's drying still. It's streaky because it's still a little wet. Is it going to turn out perfect, like the artwork, repair and everything? No. Does it look good? Hell yeah. Basically, we just preserved this artwork to last another 30 years because we touched up the color, we filled in the minor cracks, did a little bit of body work to what we had to do, and it's got 2 coats of clear rolled and brushed on top of it. So now we have sealed up this old artwork so that it can continue to live the way it was intended to live, and it's not vinyl. Which, there's nothing wrong with vinyl, but if your game doesn't come with vinyl, why use it? You know what I mean? So, as you can see this side, as it's drying, you could sort of see just a slight sheen, and it's all uniform now. So, I'm real happy with that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end this video now because it's gonna take a while to dry. We'll let it sit in here overnight, and tomorrow it'll end up in the basement. The inside turned out really nice too. That cleaned up really nice. I mean, it looks pretty damn good for 1981. Can't really complain, and who knows where it's been and, you know, how much it's been played and all that good stuff. Actually, I wonder if there's a coin counter on the coin door. These are all the parts that we need to clean, repaint and everything. I'm actually going to even do the silver parts just because I want this to look real nice. Yeah, there's no coin counter on these. I didn't think they had it. But this I need to find another transformer which goes on the other side there. And I have the suitcase set up for the capacitors and stuff like that, which will go where that switching power supply is. So like I said, this original harness is in good shape. We're going to use that, and then I just need to make the main game harness for the game itself. And I'm pretty positive that the harness on the control panel is also the original harness. So we need to touch up the control panel. We're going to use automotive paint for that. Well, you know what? No, we're not going to use automotive paint for that because I still want to finish this project like I said I was going to finish this project by trying to do everything by hand. So we are not going to use automotive paint and clear for the control panel. What we are going to do is we are going to use Krylon satin clear for the control panel. So we're going to use spray can clear after we touch up the artwork on the control panel. I want to use that versus this stuff because I think that the stuff in the spray can with your hands always on the control panel is going to hold up better than that will. So we got a little touch up to do to that, and then we need to do some touch up to this marquee. I don't know if we can show it in the light here. It's actually pretty damn good. Maybe we don't need to really do much touch up. Yeah, there's a couple little tiny nicks in it, which you can't really see, but flip it over, maybe we can see a little better. Not really. I mean, honestly, we could just take the paint marker and just hit these couple spots with black paint, and it should be good to go. It's actually pretty damn nice. I thought it was worse than that, but you can see some scratching in it, but it's minor. See, we'll touch it up. Why not? I mean, I got an orange that's almost identical in color. Why not use some acrylic paint on the backside, and we'll touch this thing up, and maybe we'll spray some triple thick on the back afterwards. And also what the triple thick's gonna do is also protect this from further damage happening to it. So we will, I should still have a can of that. We'll spray it on after we touch up the artwork. So, and then the glass needs a little bit of work too. I know that there's a little bit of chipping and stuff on the glass, which will touch that up as well. So that's pretty much it. Oh, one last thing. I'm gonna make a new one of these pieces of paper. So I need to find this thicker paper somewhere. I'll probably go to maybe Hobby Lobby or something. And what we'll do with this instruction sticker here is we'll just cut the paper out perfectly, and we'll I don't know, maybe we'll use spray adhesive or something like that, and we'll spray the back of it and then stick it onto the new piece of paper. But this is pretty nasty. Cleaning it up is not really going to clean up, and it's ripped. So why not just use it as a pattern, and we'll make a new one. And I'll save this old one in case I need to make a pattern for anybody, or anybody needs a pattern. I'll have it, so I could basically just make another one. No point in getting rid of it. And we have all these other metal brackets that we need to just lightly sand and paint with the Krylon satin black. So hopefully this helps you guys out if you're looking to do a project like this and you don't have a bunch of resources or tools or anything like that. As you can see, guys, other than a grinder that I used for a couple seconds, which was battery operated, and a battery operated sander for the inside of the cabinet, everything else I did by hand. So it is possible, and it really doesn't take that long. Just buckle down and get it done and move on to the next project. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. I always respond to every comment or question that you guys ask me. You guys have been a lot of help as far as sending me stuff through email and stuff like that. It's awesome. I appreciate it. And I look forward to making more videos, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.